course, having the FIBA World Championships here in the Philippines is going to be, well, to say exciting is really an understatement. The Philippines is a basketball loving country, and to be lined up against China, and for FIBA management to consider the last two countries who is vying for that honor to hold that tournament in their country in 2019 is already by itself a feat that we as a country have been able to, get back in the eyes of the world as a basketball entity. Maybe not a superpower yet, but an entity. But mga kababayan, kailangan po natin maintindihan that to be able to host that in 2019, it takes all of us. Cliche, it takes all of us together. About several months ago, the first time na narinig ko that I heard about the bid for the 2019 FIBA World Championships to be held here in the Philippines, there's so many things you have to prepare for. In other words, if we get this on Friday, when they announce it, then work has to follow. First, they did come over and check our arenas, our coliseums, the playing venues. And I think they required 4 at the very least, no, to be able to hold the games here. So they checked the Araneta, which they said had to be upgraded a little bit. Philippine Arena, which is closer to international standards. They needed 2 more, and I did hear a lot of people said that in the Bay Area near the MOA and the Soleil Resort, there is an opportunity to build another one specifically for this tournament, and they're looking for an opportunity to have one also in Cebu. That's one. Number 2, you have to have the infrastructure to be able to bring all the players around, get them to the place at the right time, on time, safely, and to be able to make sure that the games would go on and proceed as planned. So therefore, there are a lot of logistics that need to be prepared for. Third, airport. You do expect this is going to be an activity that will boost tourism, and that is why a lot of countries really want an activity like this or a tournament like this to be held in their country, and that is exactly what we want to have also. Therefore, we have to prepare our airports, our international airports, and we all know that our ratings are not exemplary. We have always been rated very low in terms of our airports, the physical infrastructure plus also the service, and therefore there's something that we will need to do to be able to do that. So we're talking about the playing venue, the logistics, the airports. Fourth, security. We need to be able to make sure that the locations where each day will be wherein the games will be played, plus the way to get to the games and the hotels that the players are going to stay in, plus the guests, are secure, and that's something that we will all have to work for. And of course, the lodging, the food, and all the other things that are needed to run this tournament. All this together, mga kababayan, is what is needed to be able to get that nod. In other words, if we do get that approval, there is work right behind that commitment in 2019. Let me say it this way. We Filipinos, including myself, we rally. We need rally points certain times of our history to be able to rise up above the challenges over and above. For example, sports or politics. We had, obviously, the People Power Revolution was a rallying point, and several other similar occasions. But right now, sports, this is the first time in a long time that we are going to be front and center to the eyes of the world in terms of being able to run, manage, and implement the FIBA World Championship in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand, mga kababayan, although it was said it is preparatory to the SEA Games, which will come after that, right after that. That means we should be prepared for the SEA Games easily if we do get to the FIBA World, the hosting of the FIBA World Championship in 2019. It is, for all intents and purposes, really like holding the Olympics here in the Philippines. Iyon po ang kailangan. That's the logistics behind what's needed. It is not just simply just being led by a private institution, and thank you to the MVP group for doing so. It will take each and every one of us to implement this. It will take each and every one of us to make this activity a success. And if we do this successfully, then the world will take a look at us again, and all those negative things that a lot of people think about us as a country and us as a people will be improved and erased. But much more than that, internally, we'll start working with each other once again, find that discipline, and be able to run and hold on to that quest to be able to run, implement well the FIBA World Championships in 2019. So here right now, I pray with the whole country that we together will be prepared when that announcement is made in the next couple of days. Here's to that, and I'm expectant that we will get that nod. And sabi nga nila, one of the advantages and the things that, one of the things going for the Philippines is that you don't have to fill up the arenas, while they say in China, they will have to call out people and, do something else for them to fill up the arenas, because China is not a basketball country. We are. And that's one of the advantages. So bottom line, what I'm saying, the only reason that the FIBA will give us the hosting of the World Championship in 2019 is if they see that we, as a people, would be ready to host it for them. So I pray for that, and see you all in the FIBA World Championship in 2019.